Hello, welcome to my YouTube channel. Let's get into it. I'm Kenyatta. This will be a reading from the Rider-Waite deck. The title of this reading is Forgiveness for a Father. There was a young child. This man had a child. The man was not really there, not too much physically, but most definitely not emotionally. And basically, I guess you could say, the child was pretty much abandoned by the father, most definitely emotionally. Left the child in a place and space it did not belong. The child had been told as an adult by a family member, it was just like the father did not want the child. When that child came along, it just seemed like the father just didn't want that child. Now, the man had others, or at least another, but that one, at least according to the family member, the other family member, was not wanted. Well, the adult, the child as an adult, most definitely remembers feeling something along those lines, not necessarily not wanted, just maybe unloved by the father. Couldn't figure out why. What was wrong? What had the child done? What have I done? Why doesn't he love me, want me? As an adult, they remembered a particular day. What sparked memories of this day was a picture that was taken on that day. And this adult remembers that day very clearly. It was one of those days where, because see, the father wasn't in the home, but it was one of those days where the father was coming to this outdoor, maybe like a park or something like that, okay, to see his family that he left and had abandoned, walked away from. And they remember that day as a child thinking about how excited they were to see their father. And the father came. The father spoke. The father even stayed a little longer than normal. The child talked with the father. But there was something missing yet and still. And they remembered how they just wanted so desperately for the father to pour into them, to fill them up, to make them feel whole. Just pour yourself into me. Just pour your love into me. But of course, the child could not express that. Didn't know how to express it. The child probably tried to act charming and sweet, anything for the father to pour their being into them and to love them and to make them feel whole. The father could not do that. Probably didn't know to do it, probably didn't think to do it. Probably thought everything was fine. Well, I'm here, aren't I? Would be the father's attitude or spirit. The child just tried to reach out in only a way that a child could to receive that pouring in. But the man could not pour in. And how does a child express that? The child remembers when father decided that it's time for me to go, as usual. And the child was standing there thinking, begging, pleading, please do not go. Not until you pour into me what I need you to pour into me, yourself, your being. But the father left. The child felt like the child usually felt. Somewhat ignored. Like it didn't matter. The child looked around, stood there alone. Thinking, but someone has to love me. So the child went running into the arms of the person that the father left the child with. And from that moment on, the child decided that that is who they would receive the fullness of love from, with no expectations any longer of receiving it from the father. Now, there are plenty more of those days, but never again like it was on that particular day. Child, this could not understand why the father seemed to dislike the child so. The child grew up into a young person and an adult and still felt those feelings. Sometimes the child was made to feel like it was them, that they were the problem, even though they were a child. And if the family member was correct, then from the perspective of the father, the problem was the child. But that wasn't the only child the father did that kind of thing too. Couldn't pour into. There were others. Well, at least another. Might have been other shit. But definitely at least one other. Very painful. Could never understand it. Now, by the time this family member said this to this person, the child was about an adult, well into their 40s. Hurtful words. The family member didn't say it to be hurtful. The family member was just telling the truth of the matter for whatever their reason was. And the child who became an adult looked and thought to themselves, yeah, that's exactly what the shit felt like. Now I understand. But yet, they didn't fully understand. And to this day, they don't fully understand, but they got more information on what some of it may have been all about. His father could say some very hurtful things in general that was exposed to by other family members, as well as other people they were in relationship with. Now, upon learning more things about their origins, this child as an adult, and we talking about middle-aged, by the time this person found out some things about their life, which really doesn't matter at this point in this reading. The child, though, however, as an adult, kind of tossed the father in their mind to the side. The love that they wanted and needed from them, that they were so desperate to have and would feel that desperation over there. It's just kind of like, well, whatever, you know, hey, fuck it. Poured my love into this other person who I was left with. And they seemingly poured their love into me. Good enough. I'm full. I got what I need. But that, you know, that thing was still there. That need, that inkling of that need was still there. And the father acted the same way, like he just never grew up. Never paid any attention, seemingly, to anything but himself. But again, the child as an adult learned the way he handled his child was the way he handled his relationships with most people, if not all people. There for a second and quickly gone, moving on. Even if he was still there physically, just wasn't there mentally. Now, the father may say something different. Child has said things to the father as an adult that were probably hurtful. You know, these things happen in relationships. Doesn't mean it's the end of the relationship. I keep seeing this devil card. I don't know. I only looked down one time and there it was. And then I look again and there it was. I don't know if you guys have been seeing it. I haven't been looking. I've just been shuffling here and then here. Okay. Some kind of illusions here. Some devilment. Okay. But we're just going to keep moving on. Okay. Lies and things covered up. Okay. Things that needed to be revealed. Okay. That were revealed. Okay. But anyway, but like I said, this child found out more things about their life, about their origins, where they came from, who they belong to, etc., which answered some questions of, oh, that's why, maybe that's why he treated me this way. But even, you know, in this, a lot of anger and upsetness and all kind of emotions going on. You know, and a need for healing. Okay, so as an adult, I feel that this person has gone on a journey of healing, yet and still the father was kind of cast to the side in this person's mind, just like the father cast the child to the side. Then it kind of hit them one day. My father. I need to forgive my father. Now, the topic of forgiveness is not an easy one. See, a lot of times we can just say, well, I forgive that person. But, you know, I'm the type of person, when I think about the topic of forgiveness, I always think, okay, what does that mean? You know, we got to forgive people, not for them, for ourselves, etc., etc. Say, God forgave you, you should forgive, blah, 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 this, that, and other. But what does it mean to forgive? Are we to forgive the most heinous of actions that have been thrown our way? The most hurtful, the most treacherous. What does it mean? We can say words until the cows come home. Actions back up those words. So what does it mean? How is that played out? How is it seen? How does it feel? But this adult realized in her questioning, in his questioning, forgiveness, it dawned on them one day, I have to forgive my father. There's a whole lot of other shit that came along with that, but those at that particular moment, forgiveness of others wasn't a thought. The thought was, I have to forgive my father. I need to forgive my father. I need to heal myself concerning my father. Now, the adult hasn't spoke to the father in almost 2 years, and is not looking to. But they know that they needed to forgive their father, okay, regardless of what he had done. See, they understood some things about the father's life that was shared with them, and I don't know if the father knows. Father even said a couple things here and there, but not much. I will say this. There were moments in times, very few, that the father could seem to come to a place of centeredness when there were no other distractions there, and they were able to connect, not pour into what that child was looking for, even as an adult, but connect. And the child thought as an adult, close enough, good enough, I'll take that. But it was rare. And the father could only do it but for so long, because there had to be another distraction in the father's life. For the father, obviously, to maintain something. There's a need that the father had, something that needed to be poured into him as well that had not been. But back, we cannot talk about father, and you know, it's not about them. This is about this child who is now an adult, who realized, I have to forgive my father. Not I have to, because, you know, the good Lord is going to be mad at me, and I ain't, you know, going to make it to the by and by, and I'm going to have to come back here and figure this shit out all over again and blah, blah, blah. No, because I want to forgive my father. I want to heal that. Whether the father thinks they need forgiveness or not, whether the father is apologetic or not, it really doesn't matter. The person does not reach out to you to apologize. It's not on you to make them. That's something that they have to deal with. They've done something to you to hurt you, or just not be there, or abandon you, or lie to you, neglect you, whatever the case may be. Yet they don't, you know, can't apologize. That's an issue they got to deal with and work on. But you know what you have experienced and felt concerning the relationship. So there was a need for forgiveness. I don't know what this reading is going to say. Let's get into it. Page of Cups in reverse. Page of Wands upright. The High Priestess in reverse. The Sun upright. Five of Cups upright. Got to be careful with this camera thing. It's broken, so if it comes out a little crooked, let me see if I can straighten it up without it going crazy. Hopefully that's clear and right for you all. Okay. I feel as though the father may have been emotionally immature. There was only so much that they could give. They might have even felt at one point there's a feeling here that a feeling that the father felt like, I could leave and still be there and offer you love. But he couldn't. The father may have, in some way, felt that they didn't have anything to offer emotionally to a home, a family. I'm hearing a kid, a child, okay? Wasn't really good with intimacy or sensitivity. Maybe kind of drawn up and closed, okay, in that area of his life. So I feel like as a result, hold on, please. Just felt like he decided to go into a different direction. And focus on what he felt he could do or what he was good at. A home, I feel like, was not it. There might have been an avoidance here of family life based off of maybe his own home, how he grew up. There might have even been a fear here on the father's part. Here, in the blockage position, this card reveals that you fear finding out how you really feel about someone. Avoidance. Fear. Emotionally immature. But having a need, or I don't know if this is this emotionally immature state to just, let me go play. Let me go find what makes me happy. But as long as I don't have to be emotionally connected, okay? I feel like there might have been regret, lots of regret and shame here. I feel as though this father here lost some positive relationships, good relationships, okay, with just lost some good positive relationships. His father had been married multiple times. Messed those up in whatever way. Guilt, shame, and regret. Three of Swords in reverse. Ace of Swords upright. Seven of Swords in reverse. Three of Wands upright. All right. Hey. Positive relationships that are gone, maybe with adults and maybe in children. There may be more children here than previously thought. I don't know. I'm hearing there are more than just 1 and 2. But there are at least 2 left. I do not know. But to embark on, well, to avoid heartbreak, the the guilt, the shame, the regret, and the avoidance here of heartbreak. I feel like this father decided to embark on something new, a new life, something that they felt may work for them. And I want to say, and walking away in such a way of not having to deal with any kind of heartbreak or burdens. As a blockage position card, sometimes I look at the reversals that way. The Seven of Swords indicates that you are simply making things worse for yourself by not facing up to the truth. This seems to be what may have happened in this person's life. Okay. But again, looking for something new, a new journey, a new adventure, a sense of vocation, something that would make them feel as though they matter, as though they are important or have an important space and place in the world, expanding upon the expansion of self. Nine of Cups upright. Nine of Pentacles in reverse. Knight of Cups in reverse. Something that would bring them satisfaction, peace, contentment. Okay. Something that they feel like they could be proud of, what they have built, what they have established through their hands. I'm even hearing through their bloodline, okay? But so self-confident, so self-assured, and blasé. That's that blocking of emotions. That they were not able to let anyone get close to them. Family, friends, it doesn't matter. Just shut down. But look at what I've done. Look at what I've created. Okay, this thing that they needed to do to have, establish themselves. Look at what I've done. Look at what I've created. Which is great. But the blocking of, emotional connection with others. Making things worse on themselves. Idealizing things, being emotionally insensitive, not really open to love. And moving in this direction, which was more of a hindrance because there was no coming together of the two. Look at what I've done. Look at what I've created. Look at my work. Sure, awesome, great. But also embracing love of family and home. Relationships. Building positive, long-lasting relationships with others. I'm hearing I could not do it. Knight of Wands upright. King of Cups in reverse. And the Temperance card in reverse. Maybe, once again, Closing up, down on emotional connection, an immersion of love into love with self and with others. I feel like this father, a bit of a braggart. Look at all I've done. Self-assured, but vain. Charming, but insensitive. Seductive, but lustful. Enthusiastic, but makes empty promises. Accomplished, but exaggerated the truth. Loving to be loved, but hating to be possessed. Loving to depart, but not arrive. Adventurous and daring, but restless and unreliable. Controlling his emotions to such an extent that he could not express the truth of his desires and feelings. Obviously here, not balanced. Loving to depart but not arrive. No give and take. No reciprocity. No building. But I'm hearing no building in self-love to build into and with another. I'm hearing this was hurtful and painful in the lives of many that they crossed. It wasn't just you. There were others. It wasn't just about your birth or the acceptance thereof. There are issues and problems here. I'm hearing of an extreme. Of course, the forgiveness is for you, but it helps the other. This man needs that love from you that he could not give to you. The love of forgiveness here. I forgive you, dear Father. Now, one thing I sometimes, when I do readings for people, and I pick up on their person of interest, their energy, I will hear what maybe the heart says, the higher self says. And I express that to the client, but I make sure to let them know that does not mean that that person will say that. It does not mean that that person has come to an understanding of that. And even if they have, it does not mean that they will be able to express that. I'm hearing for this reading, the forgiveness of a father or the father is necessary. For I am hearing for this reading, for his alignment and his purpose with himself as he journeys forward and moves on and transitions from one life to another, I'm thinking from this realm that he is in currently to the other that he will be moving on to. So forgive him. And for that, within myself, I forgive my father. I love my father. I always have. And I most definitely always will. He brought me here. My feeling is, I ain't have to come to this motherfucker. I don't like it here, y'all. But I'm here. So that's the work that I did a couple days ago. And then it was confirmed for me in something that I saw on social media about the forgiving a father who needed it. And I was thankful for that confirmation. I was so surprised and so shocked that it came to me just like that, like, I have to forgive my father. Because, again, it was just like I tossed him to the side. Put him on the back burner. When as a child, that was the one that I loved the most. And when I say that, I don't mean between parents or anything. I mean just in period. Well, no, first was my grandfather. The one I told y'all still in that house and told me he ain't going nowhere. But anyway, I say kudos to me that I allowed myself to release, well, to let go of the tension and anger I felt within and move to a higher state and realm in my being. As long as I'm here, I'll be working on self. Okay. That's enough of that. If this resonates with you, if you feel the need to be in a space and place of forgiveness of someone in your life, I hope that this is helpful. Thank you.